Speaking of drugs, Matt Gaetz, the former congressman, are you up to date on Watergates? Well, our final chance to play what has become a beloved birthday game called Which is Older? Guess whether our president, who was born in 1942, is older or younger than the following. Tommy, I've got some news you might want to hear. The president is a criminal. 34 times over. Like Trump sycophant / human jockstrap Tommy Tuberville.
We're going to look at facts, not rumors.
Matt Gaetz, the guy who once said he was proud of his perfect record in Congress, is now facing some not-so-perfect allegations. We're talking sex trafficking, drug use, and payments to women that would make even a sugar daddy blush. But here's the kicker. Gaetz quit Congress faster than you can say ethics committee. Was it a coincidence, or did he smell something fishy coming his way? Stick around as we unpack this political soap opera that's juicier than a Florida orange. Ever wonder what $10,000 in Venmo payments can buy? For Matt Gaetz, it might have bought a whole lot of trouble. Yep, our favorite Florida congressman has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Yeah, or should we say his finger on the Venmo app. It turns out Gaetz wasn't just sending money to his buddies for pizza and beer. Nope, these payments were a bit spicier than that. We're talking about dozens of transactions, some as high as $1,000 a pop. And let's just say, these weren't for campaign donations or charity work. Picture this, lavish parties, flowing champagne, and young women everywhere. That's the scene these Venmo payments allegedly funded. It's like a political version of The Wolf of Wall Street, minus the charm and plus a whole lot of creepy. Now you might be thinking, hey, maybe Gaetz is just really generous with his friends. But here's the kicker, as financial experts are raising their eyebrows higher than Gaetz' hairline. One expert said these payments look about as innocent as a fox in a henhouse. But wait, there's more. These payments weren't just going to random party people.
The theory of relativity in 1905. And what about our network, ABC? Is Biden older or younger than ABC? Study, Washington, D.C. has the second highest cannabis consumption in the United States. And we're just about 2 months away from that going up to number one.
Oh no, that would be too simple for our Matt. Two women have come forward and testified that these Venmo transfers were actually for sex. Talk about a political party gone wild. So what does all this mean for Gaetz? Well, let's just say his political career might be circling the drain faster than you can say Venmo me. These weren't just innocent transfers between friends. They were more like breadcrumbs leading straight to a potential criminal investigation. But hold on to your hats, folks, because the money trail is just the beginning of this political soap opera. Gaetz' Venmo adventures are only the appetizer in this full-course meal of scandal. Up next, we'll dive into how our boy Matt went from strutting the halls of Congress to potentially modeling an orange jumpsuit. Stay tuned, because this story is juicier than a Florida orange. From power suits to prison stripes, Matt Gaetz' career took a nosedive quicker than you can say ethics violation. But here's the million-dollar question. Did he jump ship or was he pushed? The timing of his resignation is fishier than week-old sushi left out in the Florida sun. Our boy Matt, who once strutted around Congress like he owned the place, suddenly decided to pack up his bags and leave on November 15th, 2024. Now, isn't it funny how that's just 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was gonna vote on whether to release their report about him? Talk about convenient timing. Remember when Gaetz used to brag about his perfect record in Congress?
Tommy, I've got some news you might want to hear. The president is a criminal. 34 times over. California isn't even in the top 5. How is that possible? We have more weed shops than schools here.
Well, folks, that record's now about as perfect as a teenager's face after a pizza binge. We've got allegations flying around faster than paper airplanes in a kindergarten class. Sex trafficking, drug use, and those spicy Venmo payments we talked about earlier. It's like he's playing scandal bingo and trying to hit every square. Now, Gaetz' buddies are crying foul, saying he's been treated unfairly. They're stomping their feet and insisting the allegations are as baseless as a sandcastle at high tide. But let's be real, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably not a unicorn. The Republican Party is more divided over this than a family arguing over pineapple on pizza. Some are standing by their man, while others are distancing themselves faster than you can say political liability. But hold on to your hats, folks, because we haven't even gotten to the juiciest part yet. We're talking allegations that would make even the most seasoned politicians blush.
The former congressman and current Trump Attorney General nominee Matt Gaetz, the committee is examining, among other things, testimony that says he engaged in sexual misconduct, finished drafting the report, but even that vote wasn't unanimous. Releasing the report would require one Republican, only one, to vote with Democratic members of the committee.
And trust me, when we get to it, you'll understand why Gaetz might be sweating more than a snowman in Florida. So, what's the deal? Is Gaetz really innocent as he claims? Or is his hasty exit just a guilty man trying to outrun the long arm of the law? Either way, it looks like he might be trading in his congressional pin for some fancy new bracelets. And I'm not talking about the kind you buy at Tiffany's. But wait, there's more. Remember how I said we hadn't gotten to the juiciest part yet? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because the real bombshell involves a certain 17-year-old. And let me tell you, it's about to get wilder than a Florida Gator on Red Bull. Remember being 17? For most of us, it didn't involve testifying about a congressman. But here we are, folks, in a world where a teenager's story is making everyone from the Ethics Committee to the Justice Department lose their minds. So what's the deal with Gaetz and this 17-year-old? Well, it's not a cute high school romance, that's for sure. A woman told the House Ethics Committee that she saw Gaetz getting frisky with a minor at a party back in July 2017. Talk about a summer to remember, huh? Now, before you start thinking this is just some random accusation, hold your horses. This testimony is part of a bigger investigation into Gaetz' alleged naughty behavior and his possible ties to sex trafficking. It's like a political version of To Catch a Predator, but with less Chris Hansen and more government officials. The lawyer representing the women who testified, Joel Leopard, yes, that's his real name, says his client saw Gaetz doing the deed with the minor. Apparently, Gaetz didn't know her age at the time. When he found out she was underage, he ghosted her faster than a Tinder date gone wrong. Now, let's talk about the legal stuff. If this is true, Gaetz could be in deeper trouble than a claustrophobic submarine captain. We're talking potential jail time, folks. It's not just about breaking house rules anymore. It's about breaking actual laws. The kind that could turn Gaetz' political career into a distant memory.
About Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth, and even all of them will have some kind of rumor when it comes down to it. But we've got to look at facts. But we've got to help President Trump. He's not going to pick somebody.
He's looking for cellmates, okay? Team Trump is said to be optimistic about Gaetz' nomination, but if Gaetz wants enough votes to get confirmed in the Senate, he's got a lot of work to do.
But wait, there's more. Gaetz is denying everything harder than a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He's calling it all a big fat lie and saying it's just a smear campaign. Classic move, right? It's like the political equivalent of the dog ate my homework. Here's the kicker, though. The Justice Department already looked into these allegations and decided not to press charges. They said something about witness credibility issues, but don't get too excited, Gaetz fans. The House Ethics Committee is still digging around and they might just find something the DOJ missed. If all this turns out to be true, Gaetz might be trading his fancy suits for an orange jumpsuit. He could go from the house to the big house faster than you can say ethics violation. But hold on to your hats, folks, because we're not done yet. Ever heard of party favors? In Gaetz' world, it's not what you think. Trust me. This next bit is wilder than a Florida spring break party. In Gaetz' world, party favors aren't balloons and vitamins aren't from the health food store. Welcome to Politics After Dark, where the party never stops and the only thing higher than the campaign contributions are the guests. Turns out our boy Matt might have been hosting some wild shindigs that would make even Charlie Sheen say, "Whoa, dude, take it easy." We're not talking about your grandma's bingo night here. Nope, these parties allegedly had more powder than a makeup counter at Macy's. According to the lawyer of two women who spilled the beans, Gaetz was tossing around terms like party favor mecca when talking about people bringing drugs to his get-togethers. It's like he was trying to win the most creative party planner award, except the prize might be a pair of handcuffs. But here's the kicker. Gaetz isn't alone in his alleged fondness for the nose candy.
Into his behavior, basically all the same stuff that won Trump the election this time. At least one witness testified that she saw Gaetz having sex with a 17-year-old at a party. Plastic Surgeon General, I think we'd be okay with that. I mean, this list of nominees that Trump It's like he's turning the whole government into a TV show.
Turns out Washington, D.C. is like the Las Vegas of political circles when it comes to certain recreational activities. The city has one of the highest rates of cannabis use in the country. Who knew passing bills could be so stimulating? Now, let's talk consequences. If these allegations turn out to be true, Gaetz could be in more trouble than a snowman in Florida. We're not just talking about a slap on the wrist or a strongly worded letter from Nancy Pelosi. Nope, we're talking federal charges for drug possession and distribution. That's the kind of party favor that could last 10 to 20 years, and the only strobe lights would be from the prison guard's flashlight. But don't worry, folks, I'm sure the ethics committee report will clear everything up, right? Well, about that, it seems like this political soap opera is far from over. Will Gaetz manage to weasel his way out of this one, or will he end up trading his designer suits for an orange jumpsuit? Stay tuned, because this story is more twisted than a pretzel at a beer festival. Well, folks, we've taken quite the roller coaster ride through Matt Gaetz' political career, haven't we? From shady Venmo payments to mysterious vitamins, this guy's resume reads like a scandal bingo card. But here's the real kicker. Trump still wants him as Attorney General. Talk about failing upwards. As this circus keeps unfolding, keep your eyes peeled on that ethics committee report. It could be the final nail in Gaetz's political coffin. If it ever sees the light of day, that is. Maybe they're waiting for it to age like a fine wine. Or maybe it's just lost in the mail somewhere between Capitol Hill and Florida.
The House Ethics Committee has apparently reached an impasse on whether to release details of their investigation into the extracurricular activities of Trump sycophant / human jockstrap Tommy Tuberville.
We're going to look at facts, not rumors.
But let's be real for a second. In the murky swamp of politics, is anyone truly squeaky clean? Or is Gaetz just the unlucky schmuck who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar? Either way, one thing's for sure. This saga is more entertaining than a Florida Man headline. Stay tuned, folks.